And I'm going to go ahead and kick us off. We are going to start with Dr. Lanita Williamson, and she is the founder and CEO of a company called Procedure Card. And Dr. Williamson's really this idea was born out of frustration that she encountered as a surgeon. So, Lanita, go ahead and share your slides and we'll let you get started.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lanita Williamson. I'm an orthopedic surgeon and the founder and CEO of Procedure Card.
One of the things that I was going to say that I love is that Dr. Williamson is joining us. We have people joining from all over, and she happens to be joining us this evening from Hawaii. Lucky girl. And we'll let you go ahead and get started now that you have your slides up.
Thank you for that. My first time using AirMeet. My name is Lanita Williamson. I'm an orthopedic surgeon and the founder and CEO of Procedure Card. Procedure Card is a surgical preference card management system, and it was born out of the frustration of being in the operating room for 25 years and solving a global problem, which is inaccurate surgical preference cards. The problem and our solution. Well, most surgical preference cards and their systems are just outdated. Many times the cards are just plain old wrong and inaccurate. In UCSF in 2015, they did a study with one department in neurosurgery. And what they did is they looked at their surgical preference cards and they found that they wasted an average of $653 per case. That added up to $2.7 million a year in waste. And what I mean by waste is having an inaccurate card, pulling and opening the item on the card, realizing you don't need it, and then discarding an unused product. So when you have an inaccurate card, you are losing money. One of the things that we found in our market research was the main pain point in this operating room was the inability to update an inaccurate card. And our solution, which is a lot different than a lot of our competitors, is we allow you to update your surgical preference card in real time. So on the bottom of the slide, it might be a little busy, but this is my surgical preference card for carpal tunnel release. And on there is a cordless drill. And I promise I will never use a drill for carpal tunnel.
Go ahead and...
It's a 20, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Sorry.
Oh.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I thought maybe you needed to advance, but you're good.
Oh, no. So basically, this is a card that was generated on a Cerner-based preference card system. That's a 20-year-old card, and it's still wrong. One of the problems we solved also is access to the surgical preference card. Our software platform allows 24/7, 365 access to the surgical preference card on any connected device. And unlike our competitors who have to rely on using a preference card system in the hospital, on the hospital servers, the ability to access the card and update the card makes it easy to update the card, and then the card is more accurate. So it's a domino effect. And finally, antiquated technology. Most of the ambulatory surgery centers are still using pencil and paper. So as a result of these problems, we find that most of the staff is mad and most of the cards are bad. The solution, Procedure Card, is a cloud-based platform. We're HIPAA compliant. There's no PHI in there. The main problem we solve is the ability to update the card in real time. Another feature that makes us unique is we can share your card. So just invite any member of your surgical team to the app, and you can share your cards with those team members. Surgeons can also share those cards at different facilities, so a hospital chain can have an accurate surgical preference card at hospital A, update their card and have the same update and changes made for hospital B. Procedure Card is based on a tiered subscription model, and we base that on the number of cards in your deck. It can be used throughout the surgical journey from scheduling the case to billing. And again, we also allow access to all the team members, but most members can just read a card. Some can edit and update the card, and very few have admin access. So this differential permission allows us to give the card to everyone and then control access. And the feature everyone loves is the template library. So if you have an appendectomy at 2 o'clock, go to the library, pull the appendectomy card, make a few changes for your surgeon, and you have a card within minutes. And on this print version of the card, you can see that we've highlighted the hold feature. So the hold feature means get the item, have it in the room, so the nurse doesn't have to run around during the case to go and retrieve supplies. But more importantly, have it in the room, don't open it. Don't open it if you don't need it. And that saves the waste that we talked about earlier, where you're opening supplies and discarding them unused. And then finally, a custom feature for some of our clients, they've asked for the pull and used category. And the nurses can use this to simply mark off what that was really used. And in older systems, they have to spend time at the end of the case marking in the margins what they really did. And at the end of the case, the nurse does not want to be a bookkeeper, but they are. They're scribbling what was really used, and it takes away from the patient. They're trying to wake the patient up, transfer to recovery room, and give report of vital patient information, and instead they're doing bookkeeping duties. And we solve that. Why you need us? We have a range of services for the small ambulatory surgery centers where our users can sign in and use a card within minutes. We also have services for the enterprise level client with custom features, white labeling, and a host of customer service features. But again, why you need us is you can update your cards real time. You can use it across facilities and share your card. All the functions are in the app, so you don't have to click away from the app to email or get information. And there are no hidden fees. So they're in-app purchases that doesn't exist. And we have a great team that provides easy onboarding. And we also offer card mapping services so that the facilities can take their cards and push them into our app, as well as data entry services. In our roadmap, this started out as an idea in the operating room in 2016. We found that the market size was more than 9,600 ambulatory surgery centers and about 225,000 hospitals. And that's just in the United States. This is a global problem. Our go-to-market, we found that the ambulatory surgery centers are the low-hanging fruit. They are often physician-owned. It's easy to get in front of the decision makers, and most of them do not have a surgical preference card that's digital. At this point, we're looking at our traction, and that's our main focus now. And we hope to raise money in the near future. And with that, we would like to be able to grow our team. So my name is Lanita Williamson. I'm an orthopedic surgeon, but I'm a full-time founder of ProcedureCart.com, a surgical preference card management system that allows easy real-time update and saves money, time, and improves patient care. Here is my contact information, and thank you for your time.
Lanita, thank you so much for telling us all about Procedure Card and for being here tonight. I'm super excited to have you. We have several questions from the audience, but I'm going to start with one of my own. Talk a little bit more about what differentiates you from your competitors. And I know you mentioned the paper preference card or showed a picture of it, but I know there are other digital solutions out there too. So tell us a little bit more about what differentiates you.
Well, what makes us different is that we allow you to update the card in real time. One other feature that makes us stand out is that you can share your card with other team members at other facilities. And when you look at app-based software, it's usually siloed to that one user, and you have to email things and text things to share data. One of the other things is that we offer a complete package. So everything from that allows you to schedule to go all the way to billing.
Great. Also, you know, we had one question from our audience around what are your trial sites? What are your current customers saying? What's the real world feedback? And I would add on to that, have you done any measuring of improvements in efficiency or reductions in cost? And if not, are you planning on doing that in the future?
Okay, let me tackle the beginning. Well, the real life feedback, one example is a new surgeon in town used our platform just to start his practice. And he was able to do a reverse total shoulder in 45 minutes, having everything he needed, and blew everyone away. So for the new surgeons, instead of saying, oh, we'll give you Dr. Jones's card, and then you have to struggle with things that aren't your preferences, that really helped his practice and improved his patient outcomes. And another part of the question.
I was just asking about, have you measured any improvements in efficiency or reduction in costs? And if not, are you planning on doing that in the future?
Well, we're working on a case study with one of our enterprise clients to do some measurements of outcomes and case costing, and hopefully see how they've been able to streamline their cards. Because one other feature you can do, you can compare surgeons and their costs, and then maybe pull in the outliers, because a lot of us don't know when we use an expensive thing unless we're told. We just like what we like. But many of us are adaptable and can use less expensive items that do the same job.
Great. So a couple of other questions from our audience. This product seems very useful. What IP prevents others from copying what you're doing?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because that was one of the first things we did, was look at the legal part of this and sharing it with attorneys that are IP attorneys. We are not an iPhone. We have not created something that unique. We essentially have a list system that's very customized and specific for this field. And so the way we can't really patent what we have created, but the way we stay ahead is continuous iterations and innovating and staying ahead of the pack with the customer service and the feedback loop from our clients of what they want and what they want now.
Great. So a couple additional questions about features. Does this integrate with EMRs? And if not, are you planning on doing that in the future?
We recoded our app earlier this year into a more modern language, with the goal of being able to have APIs with larger hospital systems. So we are capable of that, and we'll be running some pilot studies soon. But we are in the Epic Apple Orchard sandbox, and are looking to integrate how we would have to integrate with other large hospital systems.
Great. And another question around a little bit more around your cost structure and your revenue model. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, our cost structure, it's tiered based. So we found that if we charged per user, that people could just share their login, and that really wouldn't help us. So we have a tiered structure based on the number of surgical preference cards. I believe the lowest tier is 50, and that's fine for a small place. And then gradually going up in the number of cards in your organization. And as the tier increases, there are also more customizable features, more things that we offer. And then the enterprise model is just a custom sit down and discuss what it is you need, and we can work with our developers on the time and the cost. So that's what we have now, a tier-based subscription model.